annual audit of the district's financial statements for the 2015-16 fiscal year. And I believe John is here.
Yes.
Please come on up and
the floor is yours. Well, sorry that we weren't here at 11 o'clock, but a little bit of a detour. But wonderful site, though. Well, absolutely wonderful site.
This whole area is a wonderful site.
It really is. Somewhat. Wonderful site, though. Well, absolutely wonderful site.
This whole area is a wonderful site.
It really is. Somewhat of a concern for us down in the valley because all that water's heading to Stockton. But even with that, it's still, good news for not only here, but good news for all of Stockton. I mean, all of California, rather.
We went through Sacramento a couple weeks ago, and it just looked like it was flooded just about.
And unfortunately, there is a lot of flooding, a lot of damage, and so forth. But overall, it's still good news for all of California. Well, I want to thank all those that helped with the audit. Cindy, once again, did a wonderful job. Pete came in and helped with capitalization of the well information, and appreciate your help on that, as well as updating the MD&A. It helped a great deal. But all in all, the audit went very well, and no particular problems as such. First part of the audit went very well, and no particular problems as such. First part of the audit, we have the management discussion and analysis section, and of course for fiscal year June 30th of 16, a couple of major items, and that's the emergency well installation, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, as well as the grant information and revenue, which is summarized in the management discussion and analysis on pages 1 through 4. And our first audit opinion is on page 5 and 6, unqualified report. So we're not modifying it for any reason. Standard unqualified report. First major statement is the statement of net position on page 7. The capitalization of the wells is what increased the fixed assets, which is about in the middle of the page there. And everything else is pretty straightforward. We updated the GASB 68 information, as well as the OPEB liability, which you'll see down the lower section there.
John, just for one time,
Yeah.
we talked earlier in the day about some of these the various standards and laws and regulations and pronouncements and all that affect the finances of the district. On the first time we say them, can we just expand out what they are so they don't lose the definition part of it? Just for the acronyms.
Oh,
we talk about.
Okay. Oh, yes.
GASB 68.
GASB 68. Yes, that's Governmental Accounting Standards Board Statement 68 that has to do with the pension reporting. That brought the pension liability from the footnotes section, and it has always been reported in the notes to the financial statements. Well, that particular standard brought the liability up to the statement of net position. And in the case of the district here, the net pension liability reflecting at 131. And there's a couple of related numbers, the deferred outflows of resources, pinch note 6. And the note 6 provides additional information and details about, the pension liability. As a matter of fact, it's quite a bit of detail that it goes into. But
You have a question of what page specifically? They were looking at the.
Try to find it.
page 7,
I found it.
page the statement of net position on page 7, which is the equivalent of a balance sheet for business reporting. It's just like a balance sheet, where it reflects the district's assets, liabilities, and the net position. But the major change, of course, is the capitalization of the emergency wells, which a lot of money for that. Matter of fact, about $1 million with 810,000 capitalized, and some amounts that were not capitalized that were expensed because of it's wells. I forget the well numbers, but basically ones that were not productive.
Well, land purchase went where?
The land purchase is
May not be in there yet, Don. That was, the land, the 17 acres was purchased and 2 wells were put on it. But
It should be in there.
yeah, it should show up. It doesn't. I'm not sure. I mean, you can show them where it will go.
That's
But-
probably combined with the well expense. I mean, the well cost.
It is.
Under fixed assets.
It is.
Yeah,
It
part
is.
of the 810.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's part of the 810, which is in the fixed asset. Yeah, it's part of that fixed asset number. The 9,734,000, it's in there. Next statement, page 8, statement of change in net position, reflects the revenues, expenses. The big difference here is the grant revenue, the grant income coming in under non-operating revenues. That's the $661,775. That's the major difference there. Operating expenses decreased. Operating revenues were a little bit less there. But the big difference is the grant income. Page 9, the statement of cash flows. Statement of cash flows presents how the cash changed during the fiscal year. And at the top part of the section, net cash provided by operating revenue or used in operations. Well, that's actually a negative number. And of course, that's not good. And you have the various differences. The grant income. Now, cash flow from grants is showing 442, and yet on the other statement it was 600 and something. Well, the difference between the two is an accounts receivable. In other words, as of June 30th of 16, all the grant revenue hadn't been received yet. It was received after June 30th of 16. Of course, it's probably been received by now, but anyway, that's why on the statement of cash flows, it shows a lower number. The difference being, well, that cash hadn't come in yet as of June 30th. But for many, what they want to know is, well, how did cash change? Did cash increase or did cash decrease? Well, there was a major cash decrease because of the emergency expenditures in large part, but also because of a little bit of construction in progress. We continued there. Note payments, the principal note payments, interest and interest paid. That's on the existing note. The bottom section is just a reconciliation between the net operating income loss versus the net cash provided by activities. Page 10 starts the notes to the financial statements, and I think there isn't any major changes there. Yeah, notes are pretty similar. There's there. There's a couple of detailed schedules on page 16, 17. Page 17, at the top part there is a detail on the payables as of June 30th of 16 with a comparison of 15 numbers. The lower section there in capital assets, presents a detail of the beginning capital asset balances, the increases, and then the ending balances. Under plant, capital assets plant, it shows the increase of 810, and of course that's the emergency wells that were installed. Page 18 shows the depreciation with the comparison between 15 and 16. One of the things on the depreciation of the wells, and we mentioned it earlier about starting depreciation as July 1 of 16, so the depreciation for 17 will be greater because of that depreciation of the wells. Note E, long-term debt. Well, that's just detail of the maturity dates for long-term debt. And on 19 is a detail of loans payable, showing the reduction of principal payments. And page 20, detailed information on OPEB liability and the change in that liability with 15 and 16 comparisons. And page 21 starts the detailed statement on the pension plan, and that goes to 21, 22, 23, and continues on 24, and that's just required disclosure because of the ASB Governmental Accounting Standards Board Statement 68. And 26 is some additional disclosures, required supplementary information disclosures about the pension plan. And 27 and 28 is our other opinion on general control. And that's a standard report with no particular problems there. A couple of items that the Governmental Accounting Standards Board is working on. This is for the future. Working on lease standards, so they're going to revise the lease reporting standards. But maybe more ominous, this will be for like maybe years, but this is quite a number of years ahead, maybe for year 21 to 22. They're working on a statement that would revise the entire reporting model, which the statement 34 is what established the existing model. Well, it will probably have another statement, probably around 21, 22 maybe, that revises it further. So, whether that's good news or not, who knows? But yeah, they are working on a couple of standards that are coming up there. Existing statements that are coming into effect. There's a one on OPEB that's going to change the reporting for that. that's effective for fiscal years, I believe, ending in 19. So that'll change the reporting a little bit on that. Don't believe it's going to have a major impact here, but for some districts, the OPEB liability is more than the pension liability, and in some cases by law. But anyway, so any questions?
Emery?
I can't think of any more just a second.
So one of the things that we're going to need to do once the audit is approved is we need to make sure a copy goes to the county. County auditor controller gets a copy, as well as the state auditor controller. And Ever once again was a major help. We got a lot of the information electronically from him, continuing to do an excellent job. And so, but Ever files the controller's report. And this year is the first year that there was a change in the due date. The due date was September 30th, September 30th for the paper filing, and then it was like October 19th for the electronic filing. Well, that date was changed to January 31st. And they made that change because the state controller wanted audited numbers. They wanted audited numbers to appear in the controller's report. So,
you obviously have done other comparable entities to us. As a board member, I'd like a report card. What you saw, you know, if 100% is perfect and 0 is a total dud, where do we fit in that? As far as our accounting standards and what you saw and whether our filing systems work?
very well organized, and I do see a lot of different systems. Believe it or not, a lot of the districts have pulled out of the county. You know, the county handles the record keeping for a lot of districts. Well, in many cases, the districts have actually pulled their accounting away from the county because they weren't doing a good enough job, and they were charging too much. You know, the county charges the districts for the county doing their books, for their record keeping, and some counties charge a lot, especially in the Bay Area. But anyway, they're switching to QuickBooks, and some of those changeovers have gone smooth. Some of them haven't. so in some districts, it's pretty messy.
Our system is working well, you believe, and
But your system is very well organized. It's working very well, yeah, I would say keep up the good work.
So I mean, I know it's noted you didn't have any efficient deficiencies, so. Okay.
Right. Yeah, no violations are noted, and as a matter of fact, as far as improvements in internal control, well, yeah, you can any district can add additional internal control functions, but generally speaking, the cost doesn't match the benefit. In other words, yeah, you can have more office personnel that segregate the duties that improve internal control, but that doing that is going to cost a lot of money.
Like lean and mean.
Yeah, that's right. So overall, yeah, no need to fix what ain't broke, so to speak. But yeah, from a comparative standpoint, the records are very well organized, and when we come in, Cindy has all the records, laid out for us, and it makes it very efficient to go through them and make the copies we need and build the audit file that we have to build.
The key for the board, the key for the board members, all these guys that the first time through on this is qualified and not qualified, right? Isn't that the key? And this is.
As far as the report?
Yeah, that's the key thing to look for. And that says.
Well, absolutely. A qualified report you don't want. That means your financial statements are not presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. And And users of those statements don't like to see that. No, they want to read a report that's in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. And when there's a qualification, the report reads like a standard report, and then it has a paragraph, except for this is not presented like it should be. And you don't want a qualified report. And that's why when a new standard comes out, yeah, you want to make sure you implement it. You know, so that's kind of the difference between a qualified and an unqualified report. And you can get an adverse opinion. Yeah, you wouldn't want that either.
Okay.
That's unqualified report is what you want, and that's what's included here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't have anything, certainly not at this time, we don't.
Jim? So one question on page 7, I was trying to follow you, and you said fixed assets increase, and I was looking for what you were referencing. So can you help me go back to page 7 and tell me what you were referencing there?
Yeah, fixed assets, that's the line item where the wells.
Okay, what section specifically? Because I see assets, and you said we had an increase. Well, in 2016, we had, in the very first, it went from 4,000,004, and in 2015, we were 4,000,000. So I'm missing something. Well,
Okay, here,
Page 7.
page 7 right here,
Mm-hmm.
fixed assets,
Okay.
right here, this line item. Are you on page 7? Yeah?
Page
Okay.
7. Do I have a different copy?
Oh, you have a different copy.
That's why I couldn't follow you.
Oh, yeah, no, you have a different copy.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, no.
Mine's page
You have-
Then you have the,
It should show 9,000,007.
You brought up a 9 million, I thought you
Yeah.
meant 8 million, so I just accepted, but that's not on our report.
Oh, they didn't put the updated sheet here. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, sorry about that.
okay, let me go back to this.
What about any other
Yeah.
one?
How about your copy?
Mine was right on the money.
Yours has a 9?
Oh, the one I printed out has the 9, the one that's printed out in here.
Right,
And the
I see
booklet is
that now. I wasn't comparing what you gave us in our packets. I was just going by there, and I couldn't follow the fact that he said we had a fixed asset increase.
They didn't.
Yeah, there's 2 different page 7s. I got both of them, and they're different.
Oh, yeah, you want to refer to, the one, the bound copy.
That's wrong.
Oh,
It's,
no.
this one's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry about that, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I see the confusion.
Total given results at the bottom, everything.
When they bound, they didn't put the updated page in there.
Is that the only page that's
No,
updated?
page 9 is incorrect too, because
Yeah.
he said, because my question here is on page 7, I wrote, how did our receipts increase while sales decreased? And on the top of his page 9, he has 1,848,000, and on what city gave us was 1,405,000. I was thinking, how can we increase when sales decrease?
Yeah, you know what, there was some changes made, kind of at the last year.
We need to collect these.
And,
We'll get them later.
what I'll do is, let me.
We have a copy that is not bound that Cindy gave us, it seems to be correct, so.
So the unbound copy you have is the correct one then?
Right. We were all following your
All right,
copy.
well, I don't know what happened there. She bound the wrong, what she did, what my gal, the office gal did, she bound the draft, the preliminary. So she did.
So the one that's in the packet is the correct one.
This is the correct one, yes.
Yeah.
it is,
So you have the right numbers, it's just not the bound report.
There you go, just
So
on
what
the
we'll
bound.
do, we'll rebind the reports with the, corrected page.
Okay.
Sorry
Yeah, she
about
bound
that.
the draft.
Yeah, because the numbers, what he was saying, I could follow the numbers, but it wasn't making sense to me, so.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that, then, we'll get that corrected, and, somehow get the
Sure.
corrected,
Thank you.
bound copies to you.
So, and the difference from the draft to the final was primarily the difference in the capitalization of the wells. Because that was,
There's on page 7, Pete, the very top section where it says assets. It was substantially different.
right.
And then on page 9, substantially different.
That would be the land and the wells, yeah.
Well, I'd have you too. I saw in a couple of places there was 2 different numbers, like a grants receivable in assets 218,916. I'm on page 7. It's the 3rd item down, and then over here on grant income 442,849. Is that the total of the 661 that I see? And I didn't understand what is the difference between grant income